Academy
time,
and others.
chat.
And of course, he goes back
Who's
to
gonna win?
Contenders Hero,
I
which is
think
so many familiar names. Mamo,
on paper, Great Britain should win this one just because like
close to my heart
they've
from back
played
in the
really
day of
well
supporting
throughout all of the
Tier 2,
World
and I'm
Cup
sure they've been
qualifiers.
all teammates at some point in time. We'll see if the
Australia is a good team, and they've played well. They have they're really good, so it's like it's gonna be close. But I think Great Britain's gonna win.
When they were playing up against Canada, every time Cuffer went Reinhardt, there would be an Orisa swap on the other end, and that was very difficult for Cuffer.
And keep in mind, Australia does like to run Rhine, so we're seeing the Sigma comp here against the Rhine comp.
Afraid of the Cuffer Reinhardt. Let's see if that's going to be their downfall.
And live and die by the hammer. We'll see how Kuffa does and how Nanda can enable him.
They probably expected this, by the way. They probably expected this Rhine comp.
Looks like they're healed back up. They're on the chase against Great Britain, and have already shot down Mamo, thinking that backbone wall is going to be enough to protect them. Great Britain have just been on the run.
What a start for Australia. Listen, that's a good start. Okay.
It might just be the first team fight, but it's not coming home. Let's go, Australia. Come on, bring them down. That's exactly what Australia need to do. They weren't afraid. They sped in from the get-go, and they caught Great Britain off guard. Now they have the ability to just hold these doors with the Reinhardt. It will be difficult for Great Britain to get out. You see them trying to go over to the left. They're actually going to commit to it as well. Australia's already there. Maywall down, and then caught someone out.
So the way this comp works is because this comes down to the Maywalls. That's basically where it's at. And I will say, Sigma can struggle a little bit against that comp. Like, it's just, I've talked about it before, and keep in mind, my experience is a little bit different in ranked with how, like, I play against, like, Reinhardt's and Sigma, but I definitely struggle against Reinhardt sometimes when they're running that May Rush comp. And it's only if the May wall ends up being really good. If there's not good May walls, then, like, no, like, I can back away, I can disengage, especially with the speed boost. But I think Australia has to wait 1 second here for their team to get back, And Great Britain recognizes that and started going to map control. They're going to window now. Good May wall, but the May wall's going to get shredded.
They're going to shoot through that one, do a ton of damage, and Great Britain has to respect it.
Yeah, Great Britain are doing a lot of respecting right now. Managed to escape through that high ground, now dropping down. And Australia dropped the blizzard, and it's working out. It did disperse Great Britain a lot. They fired back with their own ultimates.
Optical, thanks to the 42 months of the round. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you.
It looks like with a couple of their ultimates, Kai with the overclock.
Yeah, that was bound to happen. Great Britain was going to win a team fight. So the reason why it happened that way is because Great Britain actually got a really important pick onto the support to the BAP of Australia. And that made it so Australia couldn't actually hold their early map control, which then allowed for Great Britain to do this. This is a TP strat that's going to be really good.
So now all of a sudden they're a lot more spread out, and that threat of the May ultimate isn't going to be as bad.
Yeah, the poke war is definitely going to favor Great Britain. Cap being forced there by Australia.
Axel, thanks for the 3 months of that tier one. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you. That's a good Sigma. Good beat, though. They flipped the map on him. This is interesting. That map flip is going to make this really interesting. Big slam!
Who drops off of the shatter doesn't land. Great disengage by Great Britain as Kuffa swings for the fences. He's going to need some help.
The pin! Oh, no! And they flipped the map on him, which means that if they can trade on him right now...
Critical pick. Great Britain. Can they even...
They won't even be able to get a good May ult off.
Still kicking. He gets two.
Most importantly,
that charge, like,
got the cap, so they're at 94%.
Yeah, that flip of the point is what made this even possible. They're going to touch the point, but like,
they're the ones who are split up.
Can they get a good May ult off? I mean, maybe, but they have TP. It depends.
Because Great Britain have to come to them.
Will be the last.
They don't have their BAP.
Australia.
Oh, this is a good TP. Now, don't be surprised if they give him that high ground. Like, I mean, give him the point. They're going to give him the point to start. Oh, this isn't looking good.
This is just chaos, and Great Britain are the ones benefiting.
Chaos is a lot.
I will say, though, Australia's going to be happy with how that exchange went because they still got the point and got out some of the ultimates and forced their comp. Although, you know, honestly, like, Great Britain might be able to play this comp right here. Dragon, thanks for the 37 months of the tier 1. Thank you, appreciate it.
Australia has the time to take it slow, make sure
British Indian Ocean territory. Come on, England. British
Great wall.
Indian Ocean territory. Come on, England.
Great wall. Soldier all time. Right now.
Australia can still fight this through. Won't have the immortality.
Maybe not. Definitely not.
But as they get through the door, Great Britain just already shut down 2 players. Kuffa has just been this sitting duck. He tries to get close enough to do damage.
They're staggering the BAP, by the way.
Britain, a great fight.
In case you're wondering what's happening right now, they're staggering the BAP.
Aki needs to be careful. He can't die. Too late. Seems like Australia should get another fight, but Kai, with his
one thing I will say,
holds onto that overclock. So now all of a sudden,
well, that's not even necessarily BM at that point. That's just a smart strategy. Though that like extra 10 seconds of staggering somebody could lead. But I will say this: it actually gave Australia a much closer window time in, which could actually go in their favor. So this window was not going to be as quick as it is right now. Now, will they benefit from it? We'll find out. Doesn't seem like it. It seems like they had to disengage. Oh, the point. I can't believe that Great Britain brought this back. Wow. What a great first, like, round of this map, though.
Great Britain just got all of their ultimates on at the right time, and as I said, Kai, the executioner, just absolutely picks up 3 in that final fight. Just stays on the high ground.
Wow.
Realizes he doesn't need to go in the small room with everyone else. And good round by Australia, but just not enough to close it out.
That was good.
Now we head over to a more high ground oriented point. Let's see if there's going to be switches from either side.
Australia ain't gonna switch.
It's great to see Funny Astro in the lineup. Just in general, Lucios have been so impactful in this new meta.
Yep.
Just to be incredibly aggressive with it. And Australia, no, well, that's absolutely demanded if you're going to keep escorting this Reinhardt around. This is a pretty open map. I wonder if Australia are going to opt to hold the Mega Pack side to give Kuffa some point to regenerate his shield, because that's been the biggest struggle.
Or they could just go in before the shield breaks. Just full send. We've seen that's what Kuffa wants to do if they can utilize it with the teleporter and get.
Well, it's the May wall.
But you can see
but they don't have the May anymore, so it's going to be the Sim TP. They're going to Sim TP high ground, I think. You see what that Sojourn Bap is? I think they're going to go up high ground on him. Yeah, they couldn't even do it. Oh, the pin on the Sigma, though, could be a trade. Nope. Yeah, I think they're going to have to, if they're going to run the TP strat, they're going to have to TP up to that BAP Sojourn comp, because they're baiting them up there, but they have to get them off the high ground. They can't stay up there.
They keep trying to deal with J. Curry because J. Curry's putting himself as such a threat in the front line, and honestly, the Maymone immortality fields on the Baptiste have been exceptional. J. Curry's been getting pinned, pushed around, honestly bullied by the Australian squad, but the Great Britain supports have been able to keep him alive, give Kai that time to be able to get the picks, and that's really the strategy that Great Britain is employing to deal with this Reinhardt.
So
the May wall hecked up the TP there. Excellent strat. Excellent play. The window. We'll see how this disengage goes. They're going to lose a good amount of map control. I was going to say. Nothing like the random right click from Bastion to get you behind a wall without them even seeing you.
Situation of being on the coast side, and Kuffa's hoping to drop them off, but it's Funny Astro that somehow punishes.
Yeah, that ended up being a good play. And this goes back to what I've talked about with, like, when a team windows first, you give yourself such a huge advantage because you can dictate a good amount of. Oh no!
Later, Nami. That might have been a cast of curse. Funny Astro doing Funny Astro things. First hits them with the Lucio diff on the Burtlog. Manages to get
Funny Astro got 2 off the map there.
All of a sudden, that's a pick where Great Britain can come in without the damage of the Bastion.
Yeah, they might get TP back or speed boosted back. It's not going to be an issue.
Nice, but not wanting to hold
They're going to lead in with Bastion now in a second. Yeah, there we go. See that TP right there, by the way, on high ground? That's what I was talking about earlier. That's what they needed to do initially, because they had such dominant high ground up there that what could you do? So that right there is what I was talking about. Like, that was a great play by Australia. You can't let them sit up on that high ground, otherwise Kai will do exactly what Kai's doing right now. Get multiple picks. And look at that. A much less advantageous ultimate than that was wanted, and look what's happening. Great Britain needs to be careful here in a second. They might stagger really hard. They already had to use an early lamp, which gives them a free big slam, and by big slam probably will. They have. Oh, look at Australia's ultimates right now.
Getting everyone back up, but all of Team Australia's back up. Both amplification matrix go
TP.
down by both Baptistes.
Akron just threw that from downtown. Will be freezing Burlog before the sound barrier comes out.
Oh, the big slam off the map!
Which hits Jakaru, and he's just thrown off the side for his efforts. So great heads-up Blizzard play from Great Britain.
9 the point.
And Australia will suffer.
Yep.
That was just too much. Great Britain,
yeah, you know, I'm surprised. So what happened there was Australia had planned to TP out of it, but then the TP wasn't there, so they got frozen.
Because he caught Nami in that one. So now 44% for Great Britain, 80% for Australia. Maybe with one good team fight, Australia could win it, and they have the ultimate advantages right now. Bertlog with the sound barrier. His ultimates, yes, they were
probably aggro with the bash. Oh no, I like this play. I'll explain this in a second.
Gonna want to kick off with an
I like that.
and see what they get out of that. They don't want to waste any time though. It's
Win or lose, I liked what they did there.
With a wall in his face, slowed him down only for a second. But
it went exactly what they hoped for. Now they're gonna bash null. They're gonna probably like. Actually, no, they're not gonna bash null.
Potentially send us to round 3. The teleporter to exit, the drop down below Great Britain. It's just a dance, and Great Britain are confused.
They're gonna give them the point for a second. They got what they wanted now. They got a bit more of the map control.
Just Great Britain didn't
what are the else looking like here, though?
because of this dancing around that Australia did, but a great move by Buddy Astro, and now that Great Britain can take
yeah, Australia needs a reset. So what Australia did there was they TP'd down to the point, or they went above high ground to drop down to the point really fast, so there was going to be no reaction by Great Britain because they couldn't react to it. And then when they went to the point, Great Britain's going to fall back and try to get the point control or spam, so they recognize that's going to happen, they speed boost back up on them and take the high ground from them again. It's a really smart play. It worked, but then Great Britain made a great reaction to it.
Waiting for the flux, the group up.
Lucio, if you look, Lucio there was the one that touched the point. It was already communicated. They don't have beat. It's going to be a really good Sigma, I think. It's going to do exactly what it needs to do. It's going to bait out the lamp early on for the rest of the ults, yeah. This is a good match, though. This is a good match. That was good Overwatch from both of those teams. That was good Overwatch from both teams right there, by the way. We had essentially back-to-back 99% and 99%. That was wonderful. That was good Overwatch.
When they have the edge,
playing Widow and not doing your job.
I mean, I like Circuit Royale, so, but yeah.
And you know, we've seen that already just in this Overwatch.
This is, believe it or not, this is a good Rhine map, and they're going to play Sigma Watch.
Like, you're either going to get a lot of
you play close to the Rhine comp, but I think maybe they'll go Sigma. Maybe they'll just go mirror Sigma.
You're not offering anything. You're not doing a lot of damage.
No, Rhine. Okay. It's the Rhine comp. It's time.
Those type of things. So if you're Australia, I think you go down with the
it's not really you say have they addressed the repetitive maps at all. That's not really. It's on the teams, right? And based off of the current meta, like there's a lot of maps that just aren't as good for what you're looking for. So let me give you an example. Dorado. Can't run any of these comps in Dorado. You could run them for like first point, maybe. But teams aren't going to want to force that map, right?
Maybe not.
Junkertown ain't going to happen. Right?
Going back to the
so a lot of these maps that like it takes away a lot of the map pool right away because you just don't meta this comp that teams are running is just not going to do well on those maps. You see what I'm saying?
We could see it on the defense, but Australia are hiding around the corner. They could try to sneak behind Great Britain's backline. They seem more aware of it though. They're counter rotating to the opposite side of the road. Kuffa trying to pin towards his team, but I think he hits the cart. And now
good TP. That TP saved him.
Kuffa manages to escape.
That's the charge. The reason why you're seeing that charge, by the way, is because they're just out of shield. So at that point, it's either get rolled or get a lucky charge. Now, keep in mind, they're okay with this. Their team comp, is just take team fights on card and eventually win them. And if you win them, you can eventually win the overall like team
and then eventually
fight.
They will be the team to find the pick. There was a great teleporter from Nanda to save Kuffa, but just wasn't enough.
Purpose of right? Just hold your shield and run at them.
And there's no coming back.
You're blocking damage so you get to them, you get a good wall off, and you just be aggressive. That's what they're doing. In theory, it can work against the other team, but it really comes down to like the May walls. So if there's good May walls, then it's gonna result in a win. Like right there, ended up being a good May wall. That's what it comes down to the May wall. If the May wall misses or just isn't as good as it could be, the team fight gets a little bit more difficult for the Rhine comp. If they can't get the May wall off, then they just charge in aggressively because you really can't disengage that well. They don't charge in aggressively all the time, but like you can't disengage that well against their comp because they can damage you. So it's like it just comes down to, is the May wall good? If so, the Rhine comp can benefit from that. If it isn't, then it's going to be tough.
Be so careful. Never mind, careful isn't in his repertoire.
Kuffa gets rocked, and he's just trying to escape with little shield he has.
Good trade.
The rest of his team with the flux.
We'll see what Australia has coming up here. Ooh, Great Britain might counter with Window, but they don't have a Sigma, so I don't know if they will.
What picks they can get or what damage they can work off of thanks to this May wall from a backbone, and with Kuffa kind of mixed up there, they bring out.
I love how that shield fell over immediately, right when he put it back up.
Kuffa, but it was
this is going to be the timing though to get the Rhine shield up. So the Rhine shield's going to be at about 1200 now.
gets the cart moving even without J-Karu right here.
For 1,000, I mean.
About to make his way around. So both
that TP is just to take a different angle. So their strat's just taking TPs and get good May walls. This is the team fight that's gonna. If they survive this, they're gonna be in a good spot. Oh no!
But this time, not Australia knew they had to be aggressive.
I think Australia's gonna play aggro here.
Especially get an angle above that Reinhardt shield.
There they go. This is like their timing to go get like a whole team wipe here. Big slam!
Charging in. He's got the shatter. 2 or 3 on the floor.
Oh, but the May ult in the block!
Sound barrier. It's the Blizzard to try and slow down Australia. The
oh my!
To keep Australia sustained.
That's gonna get Sigma. I think it's gonna get Sigma. They didn't get Sigma. Oh no. Yeah, I cannot believe. Great Britain won that team fight, and there was a play there that you didn't like. So basically, when Lucio used beat there, the shield blocked the beat, and they got the elim. That's what happened right there.
Because of the sound barrier from Funny Astro, they weren't able to take down J-Karu, and
the first sound barrier was blocked by the Sigma shield.
Only 3 minutes for Great Britain to walk.
That was so good.
A lot of ults used.
Is that here? Thank you. I got that done today. That's why I was on late today, chat.
Didn't get that done. Australia now just trying to hide and avoid taking damage into that shield. And Nanda has to be careful taking these angles away from Kappa. He's learned that lesson from Busan downtown before. Now here's the approach from the defense, walking right into the Amp Matrix.
Sigma
Immortality's brought up from Aki. No one has died yet. We'll see now.
That's good enough. Even if you get nobody else in that, that's good enough. They're trying to die in cart now. If you wonder what they're all doing, they're all running to the cart to create one more team fight.
Fortunately,
which is going to work.
The cart might just be far enough away that they will get another fight.
Yep.
Beautiful stall here by Bertlog as well. Should give time for Australia to come.
They do. They have time.
It was expensive. Great Britain had to use the flux and the amplification matrix, but we've seen this tail multiple times in this tournament.
They need to either TP behind them into the team fight right now, or TP out of the Mayo. Oh, what the? Again!
Huge.
He can't use the Blizzard.
Oh my, that is about as important of a pick as it gets too. And that's going to give Australia like an ult advantage like for a while. Wow. They run to the cart and just die on the cart to stall. Yes, that way the cart. So like, what's going to be more beneficial, going on the cart and the cart doesn't move when you're on it and they get you, or running away and they get you anyway? So a lot of times you'll see, especially in like top 500 games and World Cup and Overwatch League and contenders, etc., that when a team fight is deemed like it's not going to be winnable anymore, players will die in the objective to be able to like, especially on carts or like a push bot, etc., just to be able to like buy a little bit of time, because sometimes that extra few seconds is a difference maker in winning the team fight. As we just saw, they had a re-engage on the point. They didn't get on the cart there and they all got rolled. That never would have happened. We'd be on third point right now. That's why it's important to die in the cart when like you just can't get out.
Able to climb up this hill. And Kai needs a better angle too if he wants to overclock, and that's an early blizzard from Nami. Great Britain don't seem to be frozen.
Big slam!
They fire back with their own blizzard, but a shatter in a tiny room. A Kappa just wants to.
A lot of this is an ult domino.
Sound barrier helps Australia back up their main.
That is a good ult. Nice ult.
In a tiny room. Jakaru is doing work, and Great Britain will be moving on.
The Blizzard
yep, rock.
They got a little over-eager, tried to overextend into Great Britain. They just once
again
that
was sick.
Absorbed the aggression from Australia. Australia has to go into that small room.
Like straight up, that was good.
This is a bad combo, and that's going to be Great Britain taking the second point. Once again, not a bad hold for Australia, as Great Britain only has 2 minutes to get to this third point. And we've seen so many teams get stalled out here.
A slow grind. Australia are quick to take that high ground. Great Britain are realizing it.
All right, here we go.
Could even Maywall here to see if he can give Great Britain a chance to contest for it, but Australia aren't being too aggressive.
That was a good play.
Isolation, that backbone.
All right, Australia has window, but they're gonna wait. They're gonna disengage this. They can't counter window that. Oh, they didn't get the disengage though. It was so close. Their disengage was so close. Like if you can disengage a window and like survive that, it's such a good spot. But they're split. They're split. Jakarta doesn't know what he wants to do just yet, because like, do you go in here and try to like take care of them being split here? Because they're split in 3 different areas right now. I think Ryan's just gonna charge in. Yeah, there you go.
angle there could be in trouble, but Cuffer pitting from the backline hits backbone.
As I said, there's no other play for Ryan. You're either going to lose all your HP right there or you're charging in. And I love how we say that. We just see the kill feed.
I was talking about from Australia. Great Britain also split their forces to take multiple fights. And it was Australia that pulled through at the end. Response helped a lot too.
We saw that coming from a mile away.
Hold from Australia with the May is going to be huge.
Every ultimate matters at this point. Great Britain's coming up to a lot of theirs. Australia has some of theirs as well.
Here we go.
How is Australia going to do this? They've been getting over eager sometimes. How are they going to adjust? Cuffer misses the pin. He's looking for the shadow bow.
Jakaro just didn't disengage.
Okay, you know what? One thing I will say here. I am very impressed with not shattering initially. Yeah, I was gonna say, because that beat right there never would have happened. So like not shattering right during that mail to try to like counter the mail initially ended up now basically getting another ultimate out from Great Britain.
Fortunately for them, the backline did manage to disengage.
So by the way, they have now switched off of May to go Genji. This is the possibility of deflecting or getting on their backline. Oh yeah, this is a good play setup. That is tough.
And here's the Flux to line up the pins, and Cuffer can only swing and watch his team collapse as Great Britain will be fully completing Circuit Royale.
Furlong with the last second sound barrier trying to go hero mode, but there's not enough. Too much damage, in Great Britain in the right place at the right time. They will full cap.
That was a good play.
Overtime.
That was an insane play. I love these off angles that Kai is taking. You've seen it multiple times on point C. I know point A and point B it's a little bit more narrow, but that really confused Australia. But it feels like Australia's middle name would be.
That was a good round though. I'm telling you, Australia's played very well.
Able to sometimes
so
take
far.
Fights when there was chaos like that. Although
Australia's played very well so far. So
sometimes it really messes up Great Britain.
A4, thanks for the 3 months of the finish round.
They
Thank you,
are
appreciate it.
catching Great Britain off guard every now and then, but it's a double-edged sword. Like sometimes it's working very well, but sometimes it's really working against them. Like think of that final fight with all the ultimates as Great Britain.
No, they're not playing with a new patch.
They enter with
the reason why they're not playing with a new patch set is because anytime it's in the middle of a tournament, sometimes there's going to be major changes to heroes that can really heck up like the strategies of all the teams that have been practicing the past couple weeks. So generally what happens, whether it was an OWL, contenders, actually, I don't know if I think they do it in contenders too, or like World Cup. Basically, they commit to a patch, and what that means is they'll go, you were playing on this patch no matter what, no matter if there's 5 balance patches in the next 2 weeks, that nothing will change with that. You will play in that patch. It just keeps it competitive, because it can really change up some of the stuff. So that's why they do that. So this is not on the new patch. This is on the previous patch. Exactly. There'd be no time to practice and figure out comps. It can make it a little bit more like scuffed and not as competitive as it could be.
Don't go in too deep. Gotta keep that maintain in check.
All right, here we go.
No, he's like, Cuffer, I'm just gonna, pull on the reins a little bit here for you, buddy. Don't go too deep, but it does push Great Britain off of the corner just a little bit. So now they're waiting for another engagement. You can see Nana trying to set up with the TP. Once again, another bait TP. Cuffer gets walled off. Can the rest of the support be there?
Man, there's colors. There is a lot.
This is a lot of Overwatch. Yep, that was some Overwatch right there.
These teams just get into these tiny areas, and the all-out brawl ensues, and it's Great Britain.
Do players get access to
they somehow pull through
or maintain access to specific patches? As far as I understand, they have a tournament client. I think. Bam Banson, thanks for the tier 3 for 9 months. Thank you for the tier 3. I appreciate it. Thank you. As far as I understand, they have a tournament client that basically will keep it on the patch they want.
Alongside the May Moon lamps, it's just so difficult to deal with for Australia.
Thank you for the tier 3. I couldn't tell you what's happening right now. A lot of Overwatch is happening. In case you want my analysis, there was Overwatch that just happened right there. A lot of it.
Australia don't deal with the cold well, and they'll have to reset again almost half the time they're on in Great Britain. It's hard to remove them in the positions that they want to hold.
All right, there you go.
But fortunately, that is 2 big ultimates. The Amplification Matrix and the Backbone Blizzard are going to be off the table. So now Australia can enter with their own. They have the Amplification Matrix. Nanda can use the Photon to sort of split the
They're gonna yeah, exactly. They're gonna use Sim ult here in a second if they don't window first. If they window first, they may not sim wall. Okay, there's the sim wall. They're going to wait to see what happens. Yep, they're good. So the reason why they're just doing that is oh my, and then Kai peeks through the window and gets an outlet limb. Don't be surprised to see a window in a second. Nope. Well, you can't, you know what? You can't be surprised for a window because there ain't going to be one right now. Yeah, that was looking good, but then Kai just held that. By the way, Jim, remember what I said earlier about like how the problem is that a lot of teams want to go to Circuit Royale, but then Great Britain has one of the best hit scan players in the game. So like you can play your strategies, but then you have Kai, who's one of the best hit scan players. We've seen that this match. You know what I mean? Like, I was saying that before the first match even started, because Circuit Royale was, or maybe it was before Circuit Royale was picked. It's just like
4 ultimates on the board. How are they going to utilize them?
Big slam!
Cuff a shatter hits air. Oh, and the amplification matrix isn't offering much either.
Yeah, well, that helps. The window fire strike. Tactics 11 months to finish prize. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you.
Good old combo that we haven't seen too much before.
Now, Chad, did you see why that shatter happened?
Liability anymore. Australia finally win their first fight of the offense.
So the reason why Kuffa just shattered the wall,
to actually complete A,
or like this the ground, was because he was supposed to shatter TP, but the May wall blocked the TP. So when he went to take the TP, it just blocked it and he shattered the ground. That's why that happened.
As soon as they drop, there's a blizzard with their
here's the problem for Australia. Great Britain has a retake. They went Orisa now, which is a smart choice against the Rhine. They also have beat to go with their Mayo. There's only a mate on Australia, so what needs to happen now is you need to... I think what's going to happen is Australia is going to Mayo first, and then Great Britain's going to beat Mayo, and they're going to have an advantage. They have window too. There's the beat. Here's the survivability from Orisa, yeah. Good swap last second. The Orisa swap was good. They're going to window because they have to, but it's not gonna. They're not going to get in the win. This was such a good match, though. This was a 2-0, but this was such a good series. It was such a good series. Like that was some good Overwatch.